The Pomaks, a Muslim ethnic group in Bulgaria, have a unique wedding tradition that dates back to pre-Islamic times. It's a tradition unlike any other, and one key element in this ritual is a mirror, which holds special significance. Mustafa Emin hopes to protect this ancient ritual and share it with the world. Mustafa wants UNESCO to officially recognize the extraordinary wedding tradition. One distinctive part of the tradition is the bride's dowry. It is displayed publicly outside her family home, often enough to help the couple start a new life together. It's a way for the bride's family to show that she comes from a good home. Mustafa believes this century-old tradition from the village of Ribnovo deserves UNESCO recognition.
It's a living human treasure. The tradition goes back thousands of years. It doesn't need reviving. It's already very much alive.
Hang that yellow vest a little higher.
Every detail counts. Each curtain gets a rail. And there's not just a lot of curtains. Blankets, too. 47, to be precise. The groom, Milea Menkov, is sure everything is going to fit into the new home. That's what he brings to the marriage.
We have a completely new house. It's 2 stories plus garages. It'll be full, sure. We'll live at my parents' house first. Then we'll move into the new home soon.
Relatives have come in droves. Some have traveled a long way.
I've lived in Stuttgart, Germany since I was 10. You have to help. Look how much work this is. Lots of friends and the entire family are coming. They'll be staying here for 2 days.
Several sofas, a refrigerator. The young couple shouldn't want for anything. Plenty of pots and everything else a kitchen needs. And 150 hand-crocheted slippers. The neighbors examine the dowry for quality and style. Does the bride have good taste? Is she good with her hands? How good is the fortune she's bringing to the marriage? And to top it off, is she prepared for hard times too? A question answered with 47 blankets. Ribnovo is in a secluded spot up in the mountains. The road that leads here was paved only a few decades ago. The village remained relatively free of outside influences. There's a theory that that's what helped people to preserve their local traditions here. One example, these wide-cut red trousers and glittering aprons. There's little work here. Many men are seasonal laborers. They harvest vegetables in Spain or Germany, for instance. They return to Ribnovo for the winter. At the market, fabrics for those voluminous red trousers. Since the women from here mainly wear the traditional garment, it's nice to have plenty of variation. For the wedding, Mustafa and his wife Aisha are making baklava, joined by Aisha and Mustafa's children and their grandmother Camille.
When my wife and I started living together, she couldn't cook yet. Her mother had always cooked for her. At university, she'd eat in the cafeteria. The first time we had guests over, my mother and father, we decided to cook a special dish together. We bought a pressure cooker to cook them some meat.
We cooked it.
You tell it.
When the meat was done, we turned off the stove. But Mustafa was impatient. He opened the pressure cooker and the lid exploded. All the meat shot out.
All the way up to the ceiling.
In the end, we had couscous.
Now, Aisha, herself a literary scholar, has just published a cookbook of local recipes. Her baking skills are highly sought after for weddings.
Weddings are really important in Ribnovo. Not just for the couples and their parents, but for the entire village. Everyone gets involved. Some help prepare pastries, like banica or baklava. Some help set up the dowry presentation, the cheese. Everyone can help, and everyone comes for a dance in the main square.
To Sofia, the Bulgarian capital. Mustafa, who works in construction, comes here often. To reach his goal and have the wedding ritual recognized as intangible cultural heritage, he'll need political support.
I had a job as an advisor to the defense minister. During that time, I got to know a lot of people in parliament, leaders of the groups there, chairs of committees, and other people. Having those personal contacts has helped us get our ideas heard.
Mustafa has a meeting at the parliament. With him is a fellow campaigner for the World Cultural Heritage Project and her friend from Britain. Mustafa is here to meet the Cultural Committee's chair and seek his support.
The wedding tradition is very important to us local people. It's not a religious ritual. The tradition is neither Muslim nor Christian.
Visiting from Britain, Eleanor Potter is excited to experience Ribnovo's wedding ritual.
If you're not, you don't wear it like this. Okay, I understand. I've been coming to Bulgaria for 20 years. I'm very fond of the culture, and my friend Denitsa invited me, to visit this very unique village. I'm always interested in the history of the countries I visit, and Bulgaria in particular is of great interest because their culture goes back well before Christianity, and it's very unique.
Mustafa's personal connections are paying off. Before he can submit an application to UNESCO, he has to garner the support of Manuel Pekov from the Cultural Committee.
You can see that it's vibrant, it's alive, and it's part of the culture, it's part of the community, and it's something that doesn't exist anywhere else. There are no signs that it exists anywhere in the Orient, not in Turkey, not in the Arab world. So obviously it's something that is more Bulgarian than Muslim. So it's part of the Bulgarian heritage and Bulgarian tradition, and we should make it stand out.
Day one of the wedding in Ribnovo. A wedding like this costs around €25,000. Guests bring gifts of money, which helps to cover the costs. Today is the groom's day, with only his relatives invited. If everyone came at once, it simply wouldn't work.
Anyone who's in the village during the celebrations can come to a wedding in Ribnovo. On the first day, 600 people came through in what we call shifts. On the second day, another 600 to 700.
The next shift has arrived. The dancing is practically non-stop. The women and girls wear traditional festive clothing. Another wave of guests. A few female tourists are also allowed in. For the bride and groom, it's just one very long shift.
I'm doing okay.
So-so.
От сестрата специално.
Very beautiful. Did you put the glitter on?
I bought the pants like this. But you can also take plain fabric and then make the decorations yourself. We draw the patterns by hand and then glue the stones on.
For Fatme Kuneva and Fikri Kiselova, tradition is an important part of their identity. After the Second World War, during the communist reign, the traditional red trousers were banned in Bulgaria.
During all that, the girls were still going to school. I've heard stories about them wearing shalvari, the pants, under their skirts. The school teachers would check whether they were wearing them under their skirts. If a girl was caught, she could be beaten and forced to take them off. Only skirts were allowed. The pants were forbidden. It was very violent back then.
The traditional garments survived through decades of repression. They're made by hand in Ribnovo to this day. They're for daily wear too, not just special occasions. The younger generation is keeping up the tradition. Easily half of the girls wear their red trousers to school. Shufe Molyayeva and Fatme Avdikova remember the communist era very well. It was enforced uniformity, they say. Anything differing from the norm was unwelcome.
Once I went to the city of Gotsidelchev. Because I was wearing traditional clothing and a headscarf, they refused to let me ride the bus.
I remember when we went out to the fields for the harvest. Some men came yelling at us that we were wearing our shalvari under our skirts. They told us to take them off. A woman came over. "Why are you yelling like that? Let me see what you have under your pants. Pull your pants down." The men left us alone after that.
It's better now. Nobody says anything, nobody bothers you, nobody insults you.
They're happy and proud that their tradition has survived for thousands of years. The resilient Pomaks are an ethno-confessional minority in Bulgaria with an estimated 300,000 Bulgarian Muslims. Mustafa's mother is getting a wedding dress ready for the visitor from Great Britain, Eleanor Potter. She's been invited to try it on.
Hello, ladies. I love dressing up, so this is kind of something I'm never This is something very special. I'm loving it already. I'm probably much taller than you guys. The detail on the clothes is so beautiful. Do you make it yourself?
Yeah.
All, so it's for the wedding. Every dress is different. And is it the clothes that the bride wears all day?
Yeah. Actually, not all day. Only in the weddings.
Okay.
Or the, let's say, Fridays.
I'm very privileged, to be treated this way. I appreciate that. Oh, that is really elaborate. Yeah, very nice. I like it. Yeah, I like it. You can feel the heart in these garments because it's part of the culture that is passed from generation to generation. So I love clothes because to me it's art and culture. So that's all.
Mustafa drives to a neighboring village where there are a number of hotels, something his own village lacks. That is why so few tourists have come to Ribnovo up to now, and he'd like to change that.
Two mountain ranges meet in this region. The air is pure. There are ski resorts nearby. There are also mineral springs here, which can be good for your health. All of that makes our region attractive as a vacation destination, all year round.
He's come to meet the manager of Hotel Leshten, whom he's begun a collaboration with. Joanna Petkanina has plenty of guests. He has a one-of-a-kind wedding ritual. It's good cause to work together. Joanna has a group of students arriving who want to experience a Ribnovo wedding.
It's a chance for them to experience something truly interesting. It could be an enriching experience. It's much better to see something new on vacation, something different, something emotional, rather than the typical vacation with spa, pool, sauna. You can get that almost anywhere. The wedding, on the other hand, that sets our region apart from the rest.
This is Mustafa's favorite spot, very close to Ribnovo. He hopes to entice tourists from all over the world to come here.
We'll build a slice of paradise here in Bulgaria. Over there's Bansko Resort with ski facilities. Down there, the Ognjanovo mineral springs. Then the Aegean Sea in Greece. We'll have paths for electric motorcycles and bicycles for teenagers and children. There will be tents and yurts for overnight guests.
Day 2 of the wedding. Now comes the bride's day. It's her relatives who are invited to the celebration. In shifts, as always. Milem Menkov and Nevse Kiselova are also hopeful that tourism in Ribnovo will create jobs. Like so many men here, Milem is a seasonal worker. He's away in Spain for months at a time working on the harvest. It's one reason weddings here are held more often in winter. fabric for 80 pairs of red trousers, as well as 150 slippers and 47 blankets. The tourists are amazed at the sheer volume, which the women of Ribnovo are happy to explain.
Well, yes, it's a lot. But it's better to have a lot. It's always better to have more.
One tourist wants to know more.
Are you already saving up?
Yes, these are my daughters here. I have 2.
That means dowries for 2.
Yes, of course.
Everything's beautiful. All of it will be useful. Come on, show me what you like.
These are my favorites. For a girl.
It doesn't matter which. The main thing is that it's healthy.
My eldest daughter is getting married. I can't describe the feeling. You'd have to experience it. Maybe tomorrow I'll be able to say more. Right now, we're sad. Well, I should go now. I still have a lot of work to do.
We met in a cafe almost 3 years ago. I knew she was the one for me.
The groom accompanies the bride to her family home. Now the most exciting part of the ritual can begin. Mustafa has another appointment in Sofia. To have the Pomak wedding ritual recognized by UNESCO, he'll also need academic support. He's found that in the form of Veselka Toncheva, associate professor at the Institute of Ethnology and Folklore at the Bulgarian Academy of Sciences. She focuses on the ritual's authenticity, an important criterion for UNESCO.
What makes it important? What makes it authentic? Can it be considered a living tradition? It's absolutely alive. In that village, we don't have to prove it. You can see it. The tradition lives on in that village. When girls are born, they begin collecting for the cheese, the dowry, the things they will take with them into their husband's house.
Защото тук вече това е отговорността, когато се влезе в тази система. Това е общо название.
With 30 fellow advocates, Mustafa formed a foundation for the project. He couldn't manage it all alone.
The foundation is so we can finance community events and keep developments rolling along. We've built a fundraising team too, so we can pursue important goals for the local community.
It's early evening on the second day. Many of the bride's family members gather at her parents' house. It's time for the bride to become the Galina, meaning bright light. Nevse has held her eyes closed for hours now. It's only from attending other weddings that she knows what she looks like, but not the details. Each Galina receives her own unique face painting. For her mother, it's a very emotional moment.
How I feel? Oh gosh. I don't know.
The older members of the family see that while the ritual itself has remained the same, some things have changed with time.
Now there's more money. Things are better. It's not like it used to be. Back then, when we got married, there wasn't any music.
This extraordinary ritual has persisted, replaced by neither Christianity nor Islam. It's what makes it so special. The ethnic community in Ribnovo has held on to it. The Galina is presented to her village. Then she's led, eyes still closed, all the way to the groom's home. She carries the mirror with her the whole way as a spiritual metaphor.
The life of a girl in Ribnovo has stages that begin with her birth and culminate in her becoming a Galina. She keeps her eyes closed so she doesn't see what lies ahead. The mirror reflects her past. That's what she'd see if she accidentally opens her eyes while walking. She could only see what's already happened. When she reaches her husband's house, that's the moment when she meets her future.
Nevse is led into Milaim's parental home. Relatives stream into the house, which bursts at the seams with so many visitors. Once again, people arrive in shifts. It's an exhausting ritual and very elaborate. And yet this time-honored tradition is a growing trend.
You don't have to get married this way, but more and more young people want to. It's a tradition that brings everyone in Ribnovo together and strengthens the bond of a newly formed family. Because everyone is involved, from preparing the G's, the dowry, to painting the Galina, all the way to the religious ceremony. That's what brings the community together.
The groom removes the bride's makeup. Then she's allowed to open her eyes to look ahead into this new chapter of her life. Ribnovo is 2.5 hours from Sofia. After the wedding, Mustafa travels back there. He still has a lot of work ahead of him on the project.
Once we're recognized as national cultural heritage, we can begin the process to have it accepted as UNESCO intangible cultural heritage. We have to make a video that documents our tradition for the application. Then the Ministry of Culture, together with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, will officially submit the UNESCO application for the Ribnovo wedding tradition.
In 2 years, Mustafa is hopeful they'll have reached their goal. Meanwhile, they'll keep on celebrating.